Welcome to Commander of the Month, July 1st Heat. Huge shout out to everybody that participates in Commander of the Month. Definitely can't do it without y'all. Huge shout out to all the behind the scenes work. Gunner Girl doing all the organization behind the scenes. ADS who normally does these videos. I'm getting the opportunity to do this video as he's become a little bit busy with life. No worries there. Happy to do it. So we got gunboat energy 50% on these tribes. That's the main one used. The others, not really a factor in this Commander of the Month heat. You got rifleman damage, tank speed. Both those are huge help to pushing crab, if any of y'all have pushed crab. I'm sure many of y'all have. Of course, you got flamethrower health, mortar damage. Nobody really cares about those. Unless you're a VP pusher, then you're going to want to boost those up. But moving on, gunboat energy is key here. And we'll get on to our first hit, which is Boss Beach. B-O-S Beach. Task forces he plays in are Alpha Elites, Angry Good Vibes. I apologize in advance for blocking out the task force name. But he does play in Angry Elites and Alpha Elites and Angry Good Vibes. So we'll get in here and get to watching his hit, which is a very solid hit. Going in on Callisto. He's going to land here on the right side. We got 5 boats just to farming. He is going in with a 5-5 account. And so he definitely needs to farm as many cells as he can. I do believe he has his gunboat energy boosted for the tribes. And he is just farming away. Yes, I do have it sped up pretty well. We're going to slow it down here. You'll notice these rocket launchers right here. They are right there at that beach. But great flaring. Excellent positioning. And he is able to avoid those with the one clean smoke on the beach to avoid these rocket launchers firing. And so far we have delay kept. Walking up, you will notice, I'll pause it here. These are mortars back here where they're typically flamethrowers, and typically you have the mortars here and you'll wrap that mortar. He doesn't not actually need to do that here. He will kind of do a slight grouping here by flaring that mortar, making sure they all group up nice and close to that core. Flares out 1, 2, 3 shocks. And by the way, everybody, this is a 3.4 million health core. He does not quite take it down, but as you can see, quite a chunk taken out. Did roughly 3.2 million on that core. You can see that me struggle to click that building health statue. 96%. Calculated out is a 3.4 million health core. Excellent hit by Boss Beach. Taking it down to less than 200k. I'm not sure exactly how much was left on it, but very, very solid effort. Up next we have Curtis going in on Titanic. Task forces he plays for task force he plays for is Angry Assassins. Huge shout out to them. Huge shout out to Curtis. And we'll get into seeing his hit. Going in on Titanic. Going in with a standard 6-4 account. My favorite account, that's what all mine are. clearing up those mines. You do have this rocket launcher view on the beach. This rocket launcher over here as well, but it's not as much of a factor as this one on the left. Because with a low flare point, you are able to avoid that other rocket launcher. Nice grouping. Flare up to that boom cannon. He is going to avoid that mine. And we are off to the races. Did love that little where they didn't gap there. All in the flare points. It's all in the flare points. Got the smoke, the reflare, and the perfectly timed double smoke with the core flare. And let me slow this down so y'all can just see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shocks going out on Titanic. That mortar right there was missed, and that rocket launcher down there is going to do some damage. When I hit that mortar a little bit late. It did fire, and that rocket launcher picked off a few. This is a 1.4 million health on this one. Solid hit right there. Did about 1.3, 1.35, something like that. Left about 50,000 on the core, if I remember right. So solid hit by Curtis. Up next we have our one and only Mo. Task forces he plays in is Arab Pro. Task force he plays in, I should say, Arab Pro. Huge shout out to them, and we'll get into his hit as well. You'll see finishing up Curtis's hit, that's 618%. And here is Mo going in on red line. All the rocket launchers up front. Got the shock launchers up front. You have a grappler there. Going a little bit unorthodox here, as he's not going to do the full line of Zukas. He's going to just go for the outskirts of these rocket launchers, which is always cool to see, something unorthodox. These guys are always coming up with new ways to hit these bases, and it's just really fun to watch. Excellent grouping right at the edge of these smokes. Critters are out. Shocks are going out. Shocks are out. He does miss that one rocket launcher, which does pick off a few, but he does get it pinned down. Sparky is out in the middle, ready to take down some extra rocket launchers. Rocket launchers on the outside are starting to crumble, popping off, and he is just going to town. Sparky is down and out, did not get as many hacks off as I would have liked to have seen, but still solid, very well executed hit, but still easily 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rocket launchers. He did have the gunboat energy thrown out on this last rocket launcher. Not much health left on it. So easy cleanup job after that. Solid hit from Mo. So huge shout out to these guys. Moving on to the finals. You got Boss Beach. Task forces are Alpha Elites, Angry Good Vibes. Huge shout out to you. You move on to the finals for July. Huge shout out to Curtis and Angry Assassins. You as well will move on to Commander of the Month July finals. And huge shout out to Mo. Task force he plays in is Arab Pro. Huge shout out to him, and huge shout out to them. If you can check them out, they got some videos on YouTube actually. There's lots of great players there. All these task forces are top notch. Congratulations to Boss Beach, Curtis, and Mo.